Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be talking about the credibility of HR departments and what they can do to earn that credibility.
HR departments can't just say they play a strategic role. They have to be seen as doing so, based on their actions and outcomes.
So, even if you think it's a good idea for HR departments to play a strategic role and support organizational transformation, you have to admit, they can only really do that by building credibility and acquiring a sense of legitimacy they are lacking right now. But how? What's the story?
In the first place, the credibility of HR departments obviously depends on their ability to meet demand, which means they need to deliver, and not just results. They need results that satisfy their clients.
Clients in this case means internal stakeholders like senior executives, management, social partners, and, of course, company employees.
What's more, the quality of service HR offers those different stakeholders is about more than actual quality. It's about perceived quality. We're talking about the user experience.
But operational excellence comes at a price. HR departments face the same problem as the company as a whole. They need to optimize costs.
That brings us to the second challenge in building credibility. HR departments have to be able to keep their own costs down. That's really a factor in how people see human resources.
But you can only achieve the highest standards of quality, cost, and delivery if you have complete control over relevant information and the risks faced by the company.
Let's look at the issue of information first. To build credibility by shaping strategy and ensuring HR processes meet the highest standards, HR professionals need to make quality information an integral part of their processes.
But you can't just collect a bunch of data. You have to understand it. Information culture obviously requires tools and technology, but it also demands hands-on human experience and meticulous data analysis.
That rigor is what allows HR departments to deliver more relevant analyses and avoid empty words by basing their decisions and recommendations on facts and demonstrations.
When it comes to managing risks, HR departments often find themselves squeezed between having to ensure compliance and trying to explore new avenues and test new approaches.
Definitely, and, on top of that, human resources is increasingly exposed to the inherent risks of operating in an ever more complex environment. With a changing ecosystem and disruptive technology, the more you open up, the more you expose yourself, and the more you take on risks.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't take risks. We're not suggesting HR should avoid risks at all costs. It's the need to continually strike a balance between pushing and protecting that promotes the innovation so vital to today's organizations.
Still, HR departments have to be aware of the risks they take. When they take them, they need to make sure they're in a position to reduce and react to those risks.
To recap, there's no disputing the fact that HR departments contribute to company strategy. But to do that effectively, they first need to build credibility by focusing on 4 key areas: service quality, cost control, information management, and risk management. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short.
Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.